Well, new nightly Nanos research polling for CTV News and the Globe and Mail shows the Liberals widening their lead over the Conservatives.
Let's take a deeper dive into those numbers right now. Live this morning, joined by Nik Nanos. Nik, good to see you this morning and talk about this. We're going to be speaking to you throughout the campaign. So here we are, 4 weeks from Election Day. But I want to take you back maybe 8 weeks ago when the Liberals and Conservatives seem to be in completely different spaces. Have you ever seen numbers shift as dramatically as they have?
No, the thing is, I've been polling for about 30 years, and we haven't seen a real dramatic shift like this. It's like a combination, perfect storm, at least for the Liberals, perfect, terrible storm for the Conservatives. Yeah. You know, the thing is, the Conservatives were way ahead when Justin Trudeau was the leader. He resigns. Donald Trump does the attacks, the tariff attacks. Then you have the Liberal leadership. Now we have an election. Whammo, we go from a 27-point advantage for the Conservatives to, check it out, they're 7 to 8 points back of the Liberals. And over the last couple nights, at least, that 5-point advantage is now a 7 to 8 point advantage. And, the numbers are still trending positively for Mark Carney and the Liberal Party of Canada.
Yeah, and it seems that, on Friday, Carney had that call with U.S. President Donald Trump, and Trump was kind of saying, oh, Canada is one of the friendly countries. And I think, can we expect that as long as Trump continues to dominate the headlines, this tariff issues continues to be a real threat, that he's just going to benefit from that? What are the numbers for preferred premier looking like?
Oh, the numbers for who Canadians would prefer as the Prime Minister are just as striking. Yes, that's okay.
Sorry, I got confused.
The Prime Minister are just as striking as they are for the, for the ballot numbers, with Mark Carney having a significant advantage. His numbers are even higher. Just think, the Liberals are at 44% in ballot support. He's at 47%. And, the Conservatives at 36% ballot support. But look, so Pierre Poilievre trailing his party, Mark Carney ahead of his party. But, Jennifer, goes to what you talked about. We saw this. Remember when we were chit-chatting about the Ontario election over the last number of weeks? It's like Doug Ford, right, benefiting the incumbent. And, we have to call Mark Carney the incumbent, although he's a quasi-incumbent, benefiting from the profile and the platform of dealing with Donald Trump, looking strong on the leadership front and getting a bit of a 2-for-1, right? He gets coverage as the leader of the Liberal Party, but he also gets extra coverage because he's the Prime Minister and has to respond to, I'll say, almost daily comments from Donald Trump about Canada.
Yeah, exactly. And with quote-unquote Liberation Day coming on Wednesday, we know Carney will likely get more sort of profile there. But in the meantime, let's talk about Ontario. Of course, everyone in the rest of Canada thinks it's the, where everything happens. But it certainly is the largest province, most votes, et cetera. It's important to take a look at the regional breakdown as well and show where voters are sort of leaning at this point as well, because that looks pretty red as well.
Yeah, the thing is compared to 8 weeks ago, the Conservatives were poised to do well. Ontario would have propelled Pierre Poilievre when the numbers were good into a supermajority. Fast forward now, and Ontario has now unraveled for the federal Conservatives. We have the federal Liberals at 49%. The Conservatives are back at 36%. So what we're seeing is a reversal of fortunes, where before the Conservatives were leading by 10 points when Justin Trudeau was the leader of the Liberals. Fast forward now, and under Carney, the Liberals are clearly in the driver's seat in battleground Ontario.
And Nik, I'm curious to know if there's any kind of differentiation when it comes to demographics, age, and gender. I mean, are Conservatives seeing any type of advantage in those areas at all right now?
Yeah, actually, Conservatives see an advantage among voters that are under 34 years of age. Interesting, young people are more likely to vote Conservative. Older people are more likely to vote Liberal, and the middle-aged people, it's almost a dead heat between the Liberals and the Conservatives. The kicker here is young people don't usually vote to the same proportion as middle-aged and older people. So for the Conservatives to take advantage of the support among younger Canadians, they've got to have a really good ground game to deliver that.
Okay, fascinating to watch. Appreciate this. Nik Nanos is going to be joining us Mondays and Fridays here on CP24 Breakfast. Thanks for the numbers, Nik. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Nik.